What's up guys, DukeSloth here, and today we're looking at the patch notes for patch 5.15. This week of a live viewing, we'll do the review afterwards as usual, and I will quickly adjust my camera while we get started. And we already know a little bit about this patch. I should also get my headphones in. On the last second here, we got Chibi Amaterasu first. We'll also have a Pele buff, and I predict it's either delay on the 2 or something with ult. And I hope the audio levels are fine. I think they should be okay. We got the new bastet skin. Bastet has rare city of coins. And let me balance this out. Yeah, looks more like a living human being. Not quite still, but good enough. Not bad shots. Oh, I like that Poseidon. Huh.
Welcome in, everybody. It's the 5.15 update show.
Nice,
I'll be
good
your
start.
host, Aggro. And look, I say this every time. It's true every time. We've got a sick update show for you this time.
Okay, let me check
we
the
got
audio
bug
levels.
fixes, all that kind of good stuff. We got a lot of teasers today, including some stuff
this should be
about the
good.
next god. Maybe even the tier 5 winner being announced on this update show.
Hopefully.
It is, but like it's a cliffhanger. So make sure you stick around. Make sure you find out who will be your tier 5 for this year's Odyssey. We've also got a new adventure to go over. It's going to be a big one, so let's get right into it. We'll start with going over some of those skins that you just saw. That
Joust
was a part of the
adventure.
Divine Uprising. We'll start with Royal Champion Awilix. This one is not part
Yes.
of Divine Uprising. This is tied to the adventure that we'll be seeing later on. I am super stoked about this skin because I
Same.
hear there are some really cool things that you get to do that are very different from other Awilix skins.
I
So
knew that
excited
something like
about
this was
one.
coming,
Again,
so I'm
Royal
so hyped for
Champion,
this.
Part of the adventure bundle that we'll talk
I still
about
wish
in a
it was
little
more
bit.
to our original
Saw this
theme,
one
but it's
earlier
still
on,
really cool.
Shadowclaw Bastet, looking a little bit. This was teased as well, a little bit of a spoiler. Very cat-like. International Cat Day just came and went.
Bastet, very
Happy
cat-like.
birthday to all the cats. Does it like every international
makes you think,
cat's
doesn't it?
birthday? Is that how that works? I don't know. All I know is that dogs are better, and I won't apologize. Riptide Poseidon. Up
I
next
like
on the list,
this.
something that I'm very excited about. My man's looking clean. Shaved the beard down, looking really good. Hair flowing.
There's gotta be a
power
lot of ships for
coursing
this
through
one.
him.
Oh, his hair
Got
still looks a bit weird
Polynesian
though.
Look, man. I'm stoked about this skin. You
But
guys should be
overall, a
too.
cool model.
Abyssal Acolyte Agni next up on the list. Couple mages.
Oh,
Is that another mage?
boy.
Next? Oh man, this is a good patch, guys.
As if
Good
we haven't
work,
seen enough of
everybody on
Agni
the art
yet.
team. I see
Wow.
that you no Zeus skin this time around.
I like this one a
but
lot.
We'll get there eventually.
Damn.
Abyssal Agni,
Ooh.
Abyssal Acolyte, excuse me. Agni, he's very devout in his Abyssal worshipping. At least the right head is. My goodness, look at that. Then Warp Tech Janus. This one I'm also really stoked about. Very similar to a Zeus skin, actually. The Sky Tech, I believe the name of that one. This
Not a
one,
fan of that one.
super cool. Wait until you see the effects on here. Also have a couple cool things to do with this skin, so you're in for a treat. Not as much of a treat, though, in my mind, as Sunny Chibi Amaterasu. I'm going to keep it real with you, chat. I lost my mind when I saw this skin. When you see
I
the
didn't.
things this skin does, you will also lose your mind. It is so cute that you had better call someone and make sure you're safe. Look at how
I
cute.
stick to the Smite World
we'll get
Championship
into it
one,
later.
sorry.
It's fine. I will compose myself now and be ready for that when the time comes. The time now, though, is to send it over to Pon and just the best caster we could ever ask for. It's Graham Hindu Man Hadfield. Clap it up, everybody.
Oh, compliments again.
I mean,
Claps for Hindu.
I don't know why we need to do that because everybody already knew that at home anyway, so it's no different.
Hindu's
than
quiet.
usual. Pon is joining me once
Let's see if
again
this is
for
better.
balance, bug fixes, and excitement, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah,
Pon,
pretty
anything
good stuff.
exciting to look forward to
Oh,
this
he's
week?
even more quiet.
I think there's
come
some
on.
interesting balance changes that people enjoy. There's kind of a spicy item for hunters that like more of the attack speed option.
Okay.
So we can get there. We'll
You
get
always
there.
worry me when you talk about hunters. I don't know why. It's just maybe season 4.
Oh, so
or
it might
whatever.
be the
In we go then
Glad
with bug
Shield
fixes. We're going to start
revamp.
things off with matchmaking. First of all, players now shouldn't be set to high priority for the next queue multiple times in a row while waiting for a match.
Yep.
Hooray! Why
There's-
was that happening?
I mean, we just implemented a whole new matchmaking system. We're
Okay.
obviously keeping our eyes on it and tuning things to make sure that things are working well. And there's some cases where, yeah, you would get this pop-up, and then you get the pop again, you get the pop again. Now, if you get that pop-up, you should really be highest priority for the next match.
Okay, now on top of that as well, just so you're all aware, we're still going to continue some monitor matchmaking too. There's still
Oh, yeah.
improvements that may still happen if required to the state of matchmaking. So keep an eye on it, keep giving the feedback. It is good to get the feedback,
Yep.
positive or negative. On top of that, Spectator. We fixed an issue where buff icons were not showing up next to gods on Spectator UI.
Yeah, fixed.
It took a
Done.
year, but it's done.
It's there.
Yeah. And on top of bug fixes, we've also got Pele, fixing an issue where Pele would hear the drum sound from Magma Rush
Yes!
more often
Thank
than
you.
intended.
I believe that's actually in the hotfix. I think
I had a bit of an echo there.
Okay, well,
So
that's
yeah,
the other
she,
game.
she was activating drums and they just stack, and if she got CC'd at a certain point, they just keep stacking forever. So it got very loud,
lovely.
very quick.
Circuit as well, we fixed an update there, the targeter for her Deathbane ability on the Dread Queen skin. Now, that's just a small little list of some of the balance and bug fixes, but if you've been noticing the patch notes when they do get released, there's a hell of a lot more on there, so you can always go through and check to see that those are.
It's actually quite a big list.
They generally are, for the most part. On then to items, not too many this week, just 2, and it looks like we're looking at, first up, Blackthorn Hammer is going to be the first one. Increase the health from 350 to 450, but decrease the physical power from 30 to 25.
I mean, I
Cost
talked
staying
about it
the
recently.
Yes, cost staying the same. Everything else about it is staying the same as long as it's not listed here. And the goal here is that we've seen this item get picked up a little bit. People are kind of experimenting with it, and we actually see them succeeding when they pick it up. But people just generally look at this item and go, it's not powerful enough, it's not strong enough. So we're focusing its identity more towards being this pure tank item, giving it extra health, but taking away some of that physical power that causes it to be
So
a bit
much
more
health.
offensive-oriented, allowing you to really pick this up if you want to be that frontline warrior, getting the CDR or the mana generation, just keep on going. Just give this item more of an identity.
Sure, because it's going to
Urchin
catch
Blackthorn
22 of
combo or
like, well, I want
something, maybe?
damage or I want
Yeah.
tankiness, and I don't get both from this, I get a bit of each.
Yeah, so now it's much more tank-focused.
Okay, we'll see how that works out. Silver Branch Bow, the next one on the list,
This
the
one's
Hunter one.
exciting.
The cost of this is going to be 2,200 gold, and it's going to build from Hunter's Bow.
So it's a tier 3 now. It's not a tier 2 anymore.
First thing to mention. Then on top of that, it's going to have 20 physical power, 25% attack speed, 10 physical
boy.
penetration, and a passive.
What's
the
gonna
passive is
happen
for
here?
each 0.02 attack speed. 0.02, yeah, I was right.
Yeah.
0.02 attack speed, you go over cap, which is 2.5 for you fans at home. You gain 1 physical power. Example, if you will go to 2.6 attack speed, you instead would go to 2.5 plus 5 physical power. How high of a cap can you really go?
We were kind of messing around with some builds, and I think Apollo, especially with like a kind of heavier attack speed build with the passive proccing, was getting something like 45 power.
Really?
So-
anywhere up to 45 power, technically, I guess the Ramas, the Artemises of the
Yeah.
world can make use of this.
So anyone who generally has like an attack speed stim and often is limited from building these attack speed items because eventually you go over cap if the stim is active.
Yeah.
You can now pop that stim and it's actually quite beneficial for you. You'll
Yeah,
get that
extra
extra
power.
physical power directly when
That's
you need it,
weird.
You have your highest attack speed.
That's
and
what I will
really
say.
Other benefits on
Because
it.
it's
And it
an
does
early
have
game
pen
item
and
with
a
the
bit of power on
stats,
it too, so that will
but the
help
late
out
game
with this.
passive.
Let's see how Silver Branch Bow does in at 2,200 gold. That's items. It's now on to God. It doesn't take long anymore. See how
Yeah,
quick
we're just
and
going through this.
through we're on to. On her is getting a buff. Why on her buff?
Really strange, Jage.
He's just consistently kind of underperformed.
I don't know how I
We've
feel about
adjusted
that.
him a few times, and he hasn't really come back in any substantial way. Adjustments before haven't really moved his win rate too much, and so we're going to go with a much more powerful buff here, directly increasing his power. Also making it sure that this ability, when you actually were looking at it and kind of figuring out what the ability does,
Yeah.
you're channeling these beams that are doing these spears that are doing a lot of damage.
I should.
But you are often better off just basic attacking. Like from
Sure.
a pure DPS perspective, you're just better off basic attacking. So people are just using it for the CC immunity.
There you
We're
go.
buffing the damage to really compete against using basic attacks in the late game. Especially for him, he's kind of more ability focused anyway. He has like the impale that can do a ton of damage, and then the ult, which really kind of screams ability.
I don't feel
but
like it does
you're
much,
better off basic
but
attacking before.
then again,
Just
you never
because it's
know.
been 10 extra damage on Desert Fury, but also we've
'Cause
increased
Desert
the physical
Fury,
power
you know,
scaling of this too. It was
a lot of
20%,
hits.
it's now going to be 30%, so it's really going to swing now.
Yeah, that's an extra 90% total.
Oh, okay. No, well, yeah, now we're talking.
Good.
Pretty
good.
substantial.
That
Expect
no,
to see
okay,
some
that's
more
actually
Anhers in your
pretty
games. And
significant.
someone else that you've been
because it
seeing
goes
quite a
through
bit of
target
in
as
your
well.
games is Artemis. She's next on the list.
That's interesting.
Still
And her
target
might
added
be-
an additional audio sound that plays on successive basic attacks. If her passive triggered on the hit, the enemy was CC'd. So this is to give away her passive a little bit more, make it a bit more understandable, readable.
Yes, it's basically to make sure that you know when it's triggering. Like it's kind of it's pretty obvious when you do things like you're 3 and you have that slow effect on them. You know that you're getting that increased damage. When other players have applied CC that you might not have noticed, and you start seeing that the damage number is hitting higher,
Right.
you won't necessarily know if that was because you're passive or just because you're hitting for a lot
Alright,
of damage.
that's
So now you actually have a
quality
little
of
bit
life
audio
more than
feedback to
anything.
let you know that hey, you're getting this passive effect right now.
After Artemis, it's on to Bees, and guess what? He's on the list. Don't worry. Baron Samedi is going to get a little bit of a nerf this patch to Life of the Party. First of all, we're going to decrease the amount of hysteria per hit that you're going to take from this from 8 to
That's
5,
fair.
so not going to stack as often. But we've also increased the self-slow while casting from 40% to
Oh.
60%. So less mobility on this ultimate.
Yes, so less
That-
mobile
that
and also more
definitely has an
difficult to pull
impact.
people in if you haven't built any Hysteria.
Continue chasing, yeah.
Yeah, we've adjusted him quite heavily to now where he's in a much healthier spot. He released very strong. We've toned him down, toned him
two
down.
old
Now he's
combos
in
a
much more
lot
healthy spot,
weaker
but there's
through
still a
that,
frustration
'cause
factor of
it's
his
still
ult
slow
feeling
then.
too hard to escape. And he's a character that really wants to build Hysteria on targets. He really wants to punish you for having the Hysteria built up. But the ultimate built it so quickly that you're getting the full pull strength basically immediately without having to do any work prior. So now if you just use it on someone that doesn't have any Hysteria, it's going to be a lot slower to pull them in because you're not getting the stronger pull speed for getting over the Hysteria
Which is
throreshold.
actually beneficial
And you're gonna be
because you can
moving
get
slower, so
more
it's gonna be
protection
harder to keep
shred with
people
Spear of the
in range
Magus,
while
so
while you're trying to build up
I'm
the
not
Hysteria.
complaining.
So adding more counterplay,
A
really.
little bit more chance of you escaping it now, overall. That's Baron. On to Kernanos next. He's going to get a bit of a buff this patch. The Wild Hunt, it was scaling mana costs. It's now just going to be 100 at all ranks. So a bit of a mana reduction there. Makes it a little bit more viable to use, I guess.
Yeah,
Okay.
there'll be less situations where it's been an extended team fight, which you can kind of get into with that lifesteal on his one,
Yeah.
or it's kind of the slow to kite people. He'll have more opportunities to not be out of that mana range to actually get the ultimate off.
After that, it's on to another nerf that people have been asking for. Chernobog is going to get a little bit of a touch again this patch. Crystallized Curses decrease the base damage of the initial hit. It was 70 to 190. It's now going to be 70
So
to
it's clear as
170.
well.
So high-end change there. And Living Nightmare, we've decreased the mitigation scaling from this. It did go up to 40% at max, but start at 20. It's now still going to go up to 40, but it's going to start at 10. So it takes a little bit longer
Might
to
as
ramp
well
up.
put it
You
down
really
to
gotta
30,
get
but
late
it's
game to
fine.
get those mitigations.
Yeah, so overall in the early game, really the strength is that he is ulting across the map and getting this 20% mitigation, which is really hard to fight against. So we're toning that down, bringing it to 10%, so there's more counterplay option. In the late game, he really does need that 40% to really actually make use of this ability, because if you jump in, it's very easy for teams to collapse, especially because they've built items at that point. So we still feel like that 40% is necessary.
Because they've
for
built
him in the
items
late
at that
game.
point, because
But
at
his
level
late
5
game
no one has
burst
built an
upon
item
arrival
yet.
is a bit too high. Turning down the top-end damage of the crystallized curses will help with that.
That's Chernobog. Next up,
I like that.
Fenrir with a little bit more love. Fenrir is now going to get a very interesting buff. Unbound runes. Fenrir now gains 3 runes for getting an assist. So he used to get all his runes when he got a kill.
Yep.
Now he's going to get
Not
3
bad.
for just assisting. So almost
Fenrir
like
feels so
Colliers.
out of meta
Yeah, we've
though,
seen a lot
like
of
it's
these
clear
classes
and
that are
everything.
like on kill,
Right.
where it's very, very frustrating to lose the kill and then therefore lose all this benefit that you could be getting. You should still be going for them. Fenrir has a lot of ways to actually secure the kill on his own.
Sure.
But losing it to a teammate when it was actually the right call for that teammate to take the kill, especially, you still get some benefit. You just need to get 2 basic attacks in to actually get everything else up.
Quick question about that though as well. You should be able to answer. Hopefully, I'm going to put you on the spot. If you've already got 2 runes already
Yes,
and then
you'll
you
go
get an
to 5.
assist, would it go to 5?
Yes.
Cool. So if you could actually time it nicely and like run away from a target after getting 2 basics, going,
Yep.
he's dead anyway. I'm ready for the next guy.
Yep,
Okay.
you can do that.
That's kind of nice.
I wonder if
That's
Fenrir
Fenrir.
would
Pele
benefit at
then,
all.
the buffs that people
Like,
are a little bit concerned
unless
about,
the meta
potentially,
changes.
because she's definitely a discussion subject here.
Yep.
First of all, it's going to be the increased base health. It was 440. It's going to go up a little bit to 460. Pyroclast, we're going to decrease the cooldown of this. It was 40. It's going to be 13. So 1 second off that. And finally, Magma Rush.
follow-
Increase the
for the
movement
gaming.
speed from 20% to 30%. So these are
Wait, what? They
very,
increased
very
again?
small little adjustments that
Yep.
should help her, but at the same time
What?
not make her ridiculously strong.
Yeah, so I think the point here is it's actually kind of nice to have a god that statistically had, like, our last
Was
few
she
have kind of
nerfed
really
in
statistically
that regard
powerful.
before?
Right.
From
She's
30 to
actually
20?
underperforming across a lot of different metrics. So she's not immediately coming into the game and just frustrating players with her raw power. And that's partially due to the fact that she's actually quite readable. You can actually see what's about to happen to you. You know when the knockups are coming. You know when she's ulted into you if you need to try and get out. And she has to actually skillfully land all her stuff. So there's a lot of counterplay available to her. But she is underperforming at basically all levels across the board. We're not looking to bring her into like OP territory. We just want to give her a little bit of adjustments to make sure that she can actually perform well. So we targeted a slight increase to her survivability with 20 base health, a slight increase to her mobility to get around the map, which is a revert of a PTS nerf that we did to the unamped version of
you go.
3, as well as lowering the cooldown on the 1. So not increasing the direct burst. We don't want to give her additional burst because she can be quite bursty. But allow her to more often get that.
I
double
would
hit
say
off, or
lower
she's
the
looking
delay
to
on the
poke-
2 a little
poke
bit.
more freely.
It is one of those guys as well. It's going
And
to take a little
fix
bit
the
of
ult because
for
it
players
does
to
less
get
damage
used
to the
to, so
base.
it's going to take some time for them to
But that's just me.
become good with this god. So maybe not.
Although I have a
really
new
to
theory
begin
with the ult that I have to test.
And these are just small adjustments that'll help her out overall.
That's Pele. On to another potential meta nerf that people may have been asking for. Naja. He got a lovely little change to his passive the other week, and
Good.
now it's time for it to be touched a little bit there. We're going to decrease the base power from 1 per stack to 0.5 per stack on the Righteous Spirit. So obviously he was getting a lot of power in the early
20.
game, and that's where he was really shining for the most part. I mean, his mid and late was still the same way, but
Yeah.
the early game is where the impact was. Is that one of the reasons we're doing this?
That's the main reason. It's 20 power in the early game really makes it so that clearing is much quicker, ganks are much more impactful. Even if just walking and basic attacking, you feel that 20 power in the early game heavily.
Oh, yeah.
And the movement speed is already a good enough thing to really carry this passive out through the late game. So we're toning down the power to make sure that Naja still has this kind of early game pressure due to the good clear from the one, but not something that's overbearing.
Okay. And last,
Good.
but certainly not least on the list, is going to be a Toth nerf here.
No, just probably
Glyph of
still
Pain. This ability no longer triggers any item effects. The Glyph of Pain was triggering it?
Yeah, so Glyph of Pain, it basically means any auto attack that goes through it or ability does a little extra bit of ability damage.
Right.
And that procced ability effects. And so this caused things like, for example, Soul Reaver. Every basic attack would proc Soul Reaver.
Gotcha.
Turning into basically a super chins. And
What's
so
wrong with that?
It's a bit powerful. It's especially at the top level. It's quite potent. So this is similar to the other things we've done with abilities, where we look to if the item interactions are breaking things or causing unfun scenarios or making something perform way above what we expect it to.
I can see
sometimes
that.
we'll adjust the item. Sometimes we'll just adjust the offending ability. In this case, we've adjusted the offending
I
ability.
think it's...
Well, that's it for all the items, gods, and bug fixes that I have for
So
you
I
here.
could
Keep
see
an eye
that
for
there
the
might
full
be like
patch notes
specific
coming out
interactions where it's
eventually
annoying.
when the patch is released. But for now, it's time to get rid of me and, well, cue the video.
But it's just an amplified basic, so I'm fine with it. Hey, Joust map. Oh, Joust map. Let's see how long until you guys regret this one. But I'm so down for that skin, though.
Welcome back, everybody. Sorry you had to deal with Pon Pon, but at least you got Hindu Man to hang out with you, right? We'd all be so lucky. We just previewed the adventure in that spot, and before we get into it, I do want to introduce to you guys someone that's been working very hard behind the scenes, our brand director, Hi-Res Ryu, aka Richard. Richard, first of all, welcome to the update show. It's
Thanks
crazy
so
you haven't
much.
been on
Thanks
here
so
with
much.
me yet.
Yeah, I've been behind the scenes, just working, jumping to meetings and meetings.
That's right.
That's what it is.
Busy man. Richard is a very busy man. Richard, I just want to talk a little bit about your history and what you do. I mean, you've been working in MOBAs for over a dozen years. You were most recently working at Riot for League of Legends. Talk to me about what your impact has been from your perspective on Smite.
Yeah, so I mainly focus on strategy, and I touch a little bit of everything, but I take credit for everything, I guess. If I don't really do anything, AJ does
He
all
lets
the
me
work.
take all the credit.
Yeah, no doubt. So the big things are, like with AJ, I collaborate with him on the Gods calendar. It was really exciting to work with him to get some gods that I personally wanted for a long time, including Baron, Pele, and, you know, spoiler alert, good old Hera.
Yep.
So I've been waiting to get my queen into Smite.
That's not even
so
a spoiler
super
anymore at
excited
this
about
point.
that.
It's gonna be we're gonna be actually be previewing Hera in just a little bit. So just after the adventure, you'll get your first peek at her. Richard, we hear a lot since you're brand director that I think you're the best person to ask this to. We hear it all the time. Every game gets it, but so does Smite. Smite is dying. That's what we hear it all the time.
Yeah. So,
what do you have to say about that?
No. Real talk. Real talk. You know, Smite is doing an amazing, has an amazing year thus far, and we're doing so well. Looking at the Games of Gold thing we had for Xbox, we had the most new users of all time ever on Xbox. So it's great to see. And looking at the future, just this week we hired a technical director solely on Smite, and right now he's focusing on quality of life features, making it stable. And just 4 weeks ago, we hired the release manager from Fortnite, and he's really focusing on project management and getting us aligned to really focus on the key
that's
things that
interesting.
make Smite grow. So it's exciting to see.
That's
Exciting
really
to see,
awesome. Yeah, getting a lot of new talent involved and trying to make Smite.
And then we're going to keep
even better.
growing too. So, you know, Smite has about 100 people dedicated solely on Smite, and to get prepared for next year and the big ideas we want to do. We're going to keep growing the team. You know.
I just posted a whole bunch of jobs in my alumni Facebook group. I'm getting tons of hits. It's really exciting.
Nice.
I've been working with Richard's team a lot on all these big design features, all the recent God updates and adventures. Richard's team is what made them like really get to the next level, and we're really excited about this year.
Well,
Question
speaking
is,
of
how is,
adventures, let's talk about the most recent one then.
it's competitive,
It's new and it's
So I think
old
the
in the
goal is
best of
somewhere else
ways,
here.
right? The old
both.
classic Joust map AJ, you're the Joust main, right? Like that's all. This is where you
Yes.
We
you
made it
all your
solely
hay.
for him, so you can actually compete.
Right.
Yes.
I have so much experience on this map that people don't think I should be able to do my job, that I've spent so much time on this map.
So this map should be just perfect, right? Like
You know,
you got
this
it all
map,
locked in.
it has some pros and some cons, but all designs do.
Sure.
Like
Every
a certain
type of game
Titan
mode has
and a
certain things
Phoenix.
you can excel at and certain things you can't. And the old Joust is really fun. It really does. It brings a lot of different strategies than the current Joust.
Right.
There's a lot of things you can still do the same, but you have a very different jungle layout. The starting meta, which jungle camp you start at, and the time you make your rotations. Those really hard like right angle turns there, and the way you can gank people and cut them off their lane because the geometry is so big there, you can't escape easily. There's a lot of hot plays you can make on
Actually
this
using
map.
the
Well, Richard, as you
exact
mentioned, we have a
alt
lot of
map,
new players coming from that Games with Gold promotion and things like that. So some of our people watching out there may not have ever played on this Joust map. They're equal lanes of the jungle to each side. That's what you're seeing right now. And then in the middle is your traditional Joust lane.
right.
Definitely a different
the
starting
title,
strategy,
sir.
but no Bull Demon King, anything
see
like
that?
that. This is kind of a
Correct.
much more, just brawl it out sort of
It's
style.
titles
It makes
now.
sieging a really important part of the map. It's also, as you can see, this is where the name Joust came from. If
Yep.
you're a newer Smite player, it started as a map themed around it, and we kept the name as we changed the theme. So yeah, this is a really great travel back for those players who are joining us new. Like we've had so many new players that never gotten to check this out before, so now you get to see it.
And Christian's team did a great job of updating the artwork. So it's the
it looks
Joust that
great.
you know,
Wait,
but
it
this
is
artwork
updated?
is fresh. It looks great. The environment
I
art.
thought
It's
actually
not
they
those
reused it, but I can't
weird
tell.
people in the crowd from
Hey
the old
man,
Joust
they're still
map.
people. They're still people. Don't judge them. Don't judge them.
They've had a tough life to get
They
to that
saw
point.
a lot
that's
of
all I'll
a lot
say.
of AJs dying back in the day.
It was updated
Oh,
one
man.
time a while back, but I was really impressed at what our team could do with it with the little touch-ups here. It looks really nice.
It's nice, like
Oh,
it's
yeah, the
not.
lighting is different,
It's
huh?
bright in all the right areas, but this little area, like very dim but lit by those fires, and it has the right sort of. It's got a shading that I think the old map didn't really have, a character to it, almost that the old map didn't really
Yeah, I
seem
think
to
the torch
have.
is
And
like
this
different.
one, I think it looks phenomenal. Talk to me about some of the new customization options that are coming with this adventure.
Yeah, so with this adventure, you'll be able to earn a new type of player achievement, which you'll be able to earn a title. So you can actually be a Sir or Dame, and as you can see here, this Artemis on screen is Sir Back to the Pawn. I
Of
think.
course, yeah.
Thanks, Pawn, for the clever names, as he always is.
Always.
Yeah, so you can actually get that if you play the adventure and unlock through the quests. You will be able to unlock that for your character account. You can show
That's
that
a
off in other
collectible.
game modes and keep hold of that in your account forever. Be a really interesting little.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you can use this in other game modes. It won't just stay in the adventure. That's
Yeah.
really, really cool. So you can be knighted
Sir
for,
DukeSloth.
yes,
I don't know
for
about
all
that.
future game modes.
You
and
sure
everything.
can if you are
I
true.
think I ruined that with
Joust
my
main.
and
name.
everything like that. That's really, really cool. What was the decision-making process like, Richard, to decide to bring back this classic?
You
map?
know, we wanted to do something that's just long requested, a crowd
Well, it's Sir Black
favorite,
Pitch anyways, I guess,
something
that
that's an
works.
homage
Feedback,
to the
community.
fans.
Yeah.
So I think that's great. It's the core gameplay that you know and love, and you can play this. You can still play the old Joust, the new Joust, however you want to do it.
Why not both, right?
Why not both?
Yeah.
Exactly. AJ, you can only queue for one Joust, though. Which one are you going to choose?
You know,
We all know that's all you queue for. so.
Yeah, I'm gonna play this one for a little while. You know, it's gonna be back. I'm gonna get my time in.
Limited time only.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
for
Gotta
sure.
take
Wait,
advantage while
what's
you
your
can.
Bacchus all day?
I mean, Bacchus. You know, you'll be able to play Bacchus finally because ranked
Yeah.
Joust you never get to play Bacchus because
true.
first pick ban every time.
Bacchus Rangdas right now, man.
Yeah,
That's the good stuff.
There are going to be some interesting comps. Like I said, sieging is so important here, so you'll have to be even more flexible with your team composition.
If you love to play Changa and Bacchus, this is the mode for you. I will let you know that right now.
Oh,
We
God.
already talked about this Sir and Dame sort of customization options for your player name. What other sorts of features can you get by playing this adventure?
So first of all, you will see that we made a couple environmental changes to the map. We changed
Yeah.
this side of the map to give it some better asymmetry, so you can tell which side of the map you're on. We're also going to have a whole set of quests and achievements you can earn for playing the adventure. You're going to be able to unlock chalices as they rank up. You'll be able to earn all sorts of cool exclusive skins from Smite history, as well
cool.
as a couple new really cool customization features. The Royal Champion loading frame, loading screen, and avatar, I think. So all themed around that really nice new Awilix skin, which
Nice.
I'm sure we'll look at soon.
I was just about to tell you,
Wait,
again,
Willix or
Royal
Willis?
Champion.
A willish.
A willish, yes.
Yes.
A willish.
You know,
Thank you.
I pronounce Sky
Comment
every
section.
now and then, so I'm cool with the Willix.
I know it's we're up to 90.
You hear that?
It's hard to keep,
I
it's-
keep
You hear that? I'm gonna
pronouncing the
clip
god
that and I'm gonna use it
I'm working
forever.
on, so you
Every
gotta- I gotta
time
correct
as a
you.
response.
right.
I always
Correct
say,
you.
as long as the god says their name correctly, we're good.
We're good.
The rest of
Yeah,
us,
That's right.
however
That's
you want
we're
to say
all
it.
we're just mortals, guys. I mean, they are the gods. And a Willish, her new skin that comes with this adventure.
I actually
should
don't
be
care that
looking
much. I
really
just
good.
care about people
Speaking
complaining about
of new gods and
honest.
things of that nature, let's talk about
I don't
Hera.
really
You
mind. I
mentioned
just
her,
mind when
Richard.
somebody
Our
That's
queen,
not
you
what
know,
I'm saying.
I'm super excited about Hera, you know. So I think what back in November we were debating about the god calendar, and I was like, you know, as a player and looking at Reddit, people have been asking for Hera for a long time. Why haven't we done it? And you know, truly, it's just really hard to define that.
Okay, what
character.
confuses
We
me is
spent,
how much he talks like he's
you know, a number of months really developing that
in the
character,
company when it sounds like he just switched
analyzing
there.
what does
I
it
get
really
it.
mean, because in mythology there's a lot of stories about her,
Yeah.
but they're sometimes not really fully fleshed out. So what really stuck with me is the Iliad, and then, oh man, she's a boss in the Iliad where she controls, really influences Aphrodite and Athena to do her bidding. She also has powers to polymorph people. There's just so many things you can do with Hera. So I'm just excited to get my queen into the game.
I really need to read the Iliad. A little backstory for me. I took Latin class in high school, and I was going to take AP Latin, but the AP Latin class, all you did was translate the Iliad.
It's in the Aeneid.
Yeah.
I took AP Latin.
Sure, yeah. And so it was, I went in and they told me that, and I was like, I'm dropping this class because I do
It was
not want to do
I
that.
failed that AP test real hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, all of those ancient texts, there's a lot of them. And Hera does a lot of things, right?
Right.
We have to really look at this really wide story and how are we going to put that on 4 abilities or 5 if you count a passive.
Sure.
So we took the extra time, really thought about Hera, talked with the artist. We want to make her gloriously regal, right? She is the queen of the gods. Like Zeus is the god of thunder, Pele is the god of volcanoes, fire, but she is the goddess of gods, right? So that's an interesting theme to work with.
Sure.
But I think we've got some really cool
I
ways
bet
to
Twitch chat
make
right
it
now
happen.
is telling us to show Hera. I bet
Oh.
you they're telling us to
Okay.
stop talking. If I can
Yeah.
imagine.
We can talk as
Can
we show you guys the concept
Yeah, let's get
art.
it up there while we talk.
We can't
wow,
we can't
that's
show
very
you
nice.
anything about the abilities quite yet, but
Very
a lot like
cool.
we've done for Pele in the past, where we're going to show you guys this concept art, and we're very much looking for your feedback. Is this what you expected to
facial art as
see
well.
from Hera and Smite? Things of that nature. But I mean, you were talking about that regal nature, AJ, and it looks like
I like
that's
this
exactly
early
what you got
feedback
going
from
on.
what they're
Right,
doing
we
as
wanted
well.
to make it
I think
show
she
that
looks
just in her
very
visual
good, though,
appearance,
but-
you can tell she's a powerful, strong leader, a ruler.
Yeah.
And that she is just and fair, but that means she can be a very strong ally or a very intimidating enemy.
Sure.
And I think we kind of the artist did a great job of defining what beauty means for Hera, and taking the elements from lore where has peacocks around her, cows, and nature often around her. You can see from her dress, there's quick homages to the peacock look. It's just, I think they did an incredible job with the colors and everything. I'm excited to see the character that I've always wanted in the game.
Yeah. She looks great.
This guy is really
one of the
excited
only
for
words I
Hera.
remember from Latin class, peacock is pawo.
Oh yeah.
Multiple peacocks, pawonem.
Aggro the education.
It's
That's
funny
right.
what you randomly remember.
Oh, I know.
I always
How do you
remember
know?
walk, ambulo, ambulare,
Oh yeah.
because I'm a walker, right?
crane, polyspastum.
Also, for
My
people
favorite
that were
Latin
like
word.
normally complaining
we'll
about
talk,
over-sexualized
We're
characters.
showing this.
There's your god, I
work in
guess.
progress. It's definitely concept art.
Right.
But we're doing it because we want your feedback. We even though we don't respond to everything because we're always running around, we really listen and read every single thing. Your feedback on Pele helped us make a better goddess.
Definitely.
You know, we spent a lot of time really defining her look and feel.
Yeah.
Including her facial features. I've been reading the comments about Isis. You know, you're right. You're right. And then for future models, we really want to take that time to really make characters that resonate. And you know, I'm just super proud.
great
of
idea.
Pele,
I
from
like
the
it.
Art team, the design team, everyone
And from
did
our community.
An amazing job. The community giving us
Which
feedback.
is a clear part in the process.
Right on. So thank you so much for giving us feedback about positive and critical feedback. The positive feedback, someone made an amazing post. I saw, you know, like congratulating the team and
Oh yeah.
and then, you know, that really made our day. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, really good stuff, guys, from you at home. And make sure you get your feedback in again for Hera. Thank you guys so much for joining me here. I'm excited to see a little bit more about Hera in the coming weeks and things like that. But for now, let's throw it over to Avrin and the one and only, the great Hindu man.
I could really get used to that intro every single time from Aggro. I'm not going to lie. It's probably some of the best work he's ever done. Joining me on the desk today is one of the most famous people, known to you guys in Mixer chat for the most part. It's Hera Zovi.
Hi,
Finally, she's been revealed to the wild.
Finally.
I did it. I'm here.
Have
You
you
let me
all
out.
eventually? Well, what are you here for? First of all, what do you do, Ovi, for the ones that don't know?
So I am
You
the
drop
Smite.
codes, right?
I do drop codes. I'm a code bot.
Have
I'm
you
a
been
vending
dropping
machine.
codes for this patch notes?
No, not for this show.
Why?
This is what happens when I'm on Patch Note Show. There's no one there to drop the codes.
Did
Scotty
you not-
Bot can't do
hang
it
on,
alone.
Did you normally drop codes?
No.
So why say you would get codes in the future if
I
you
just
were on the
wanted to
show?
think that.
Don't
They
make the
behave.
mistakes they're going to think it's going to happen now.
But they behave.
So what is it you do other than dropping codes?
So I am the Smite eSports community manager,
Oh.
which means I spend a lot of time lurking in Mixer chat. I work directly with our community, with our players, the people who tune into our broadcast,
Okay.
getting their feedback, trying to make their experience better, working with our orgs, working with our partners to help make that happen. And I spend a lot of time memeing on the Smite Pro Twitter.
That is also pretty true. She does do that. If you do need to get in touch with Ovi, then obviously she's always going to be available. This is more of like an intro, so you know what she looks like and how she deals with things, and you know who to go to for anything esports related. Esports related, however, this week, what have we got going on?
We have got the E-United Invitational happening this weekend.
Oh, that's what
Saturday
they're
and
gonna talk
Sunday,
about.
we
Never
have
mind.
all-star rosters hitting the battleground for an ultimate showdown.
An Ultimate Showdown game. You've already seen the draft rosters, but on Saturday, it's going to be Skillshot versus pros, and
is.
here's the pros that were selected by you, the viewers, to take part in this match. It's going to be Panda Cat, the player that basically doesn't speak or do anything of entertainment apart from by blink. Baskin, who gets carried by his team for 3/4 of the year and has one superstar game. Captain Twig, who used to be pretty good at this game, but then once upon a time made lands all the time and now doesn't. Jeff Hindler, I mean, he just is a bot that dies for the rest of his team. And Deathwalker, who people seem to think is pretty good, but he's not because Skillshot are going to deal with him too. Now, obviously, the Skillshot team, you'll find out later. We could have shown it you now, but I'm not going to. I think it's better to save it for the actual day. When could they tune in to watch this, Avi?
They can tune in Saturday and Sunday. We start both days at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern.
Eastern on 11 on Saturday, 11 on Sunday.
Yes.
But not only that, we've also got World Championships coming up.
We do have the World Championships coming up. We are doing HRX 2018 at DreamHack Atlanta this year.
So there's going to be lots of tickets that you can go over and get for yourselves there too. HiresExpo.com to get those tickets, 16th to the 18th. You're going to be there, right?
Yes, of course.
Fun
I'm gonna
fact,
be
You'll be
there.
in chat?
DreamHack is heavily
Yeah,
promoting
I'll be out. Like
Smite
I'll be
Intelligence
like
over
IRL
everything
chat.
else.
That's what I'll be doing.
So
I'll be
that
out and
seems to be a
about.
big
I'll
thing
show my
there.
face.
Not only that,
brought
there's
in big
also
time,
the
I guess.
after party. Now, we always mention this because there's only a limited window for the after party tickets. If you're going to be coming there to DreamHack, make sure you go and get your after party tickets too.
Party down like a god.
I don't know where the website is. Do you know?
It is hrxafterparty.eventbrite.com.
There you go. She's doing her job well. Awesome. So, and I believe, I think we could tell one more thing before we
Wonder
head
if they
over
have
to the
open bar
skins
with a
section.
$50
You're gonna be
price tag
playing
now.
this weekend in the
I
Skillshot game, right?
am. I am dragging my Wood 5 self out onto the battleground for what I believe will be my first game of Conquest in Season 5.
What role are you playing?
A support.
Okay.
Of course.
Okay.
What else?
I understand. That makes a lot of sense. Well, that's it for the community and esports section. Make sure you tune in this weekend. You see more of Avi going forward as well. And send her all the information esports related. If you don't like something or you do like something, let her know. I don't have to listen to it then. Let's head over to Aggro to go through some of those amazing skins, mainly the Chibi Amaterasu.
Wait, that's going to be last. We got plenty of skins to get to, though. But thank you for the flawless
get what they
throw
will,
anyways,
man.
I truly appreciate it. Look, before we get to the skins, I do want to say I will be involved in that Skillshot versus pros. And me, Aggro, look, I know that we're going to be in serious trouble. So I'm going to have to call in an alter ego that you guys will get to see tomorrow. Be ready, because that
What's
alter
his
ego
name?
will absolutely dominate. I, on the other hand, would get farmed. Luckily, I'm not playing. The other me is. Anyways, skins time. Let's join us here. Tina, back. It's been forever since you've been on the update show. So glad to have you
Hey.
back. Chris and Ben as well, who have been holding it down in your stead and doing a great job of it.
You're welcome.
Welcome back, Tina. We're glad to have you until you say something you shouldn't have said, in which case, and then I'll be like, oh yeah, this makes sense. We're back. Yeah, exactly. We have arrived. Well, let's get right to it then with the Awilic skin that was part of the adventure. You saw
Yes,
a little bit of a
please.
preview of it earlier on. It's Royal Champion Awilish here for this skin. The Joust, like, we got the new Joust map coming back. She would dominate the Joust map with all this armor. She's looking ready.
Yeah, she is definitely in armor, not like
I love the
MMO
Suku.
armor, but actual armor for
I don't care
Jousting.
so much for her model,
Jousting.
but I love the
And
Suku.
battle.
and battle.
And she can do both.
Yes.
On the classic Joust
And
map.
she's riding a really cool lion.
That also
His name
has
is
armor.
Charles.
gonna say name him.
His name is
Yeah,
Charles.
His
It's not
name
Suku
is
anymore,
Charles.
it's Charles
now.
Short
He
for
had a name.
Charlemagne.
Ah, okay. I like it. I mean, you need.
He's named after my dad, Charlie.
Oh, I thought your dad's name was Charlemagne, and I was like,
No,
oh my
my
god.
dad's name is Charles,
Oh
but I
man.
call him Charlie.
Oh, that's nice.
I don't mount my dad, but
Wow.
Wow, that took
off to a great
exactly
start.
56
please.
seconds
It's
before it
still
got
a-
weird.
he's still a
Anyways.
cute lion.
No, with this Joust map, you need someone that can. Nutritional, you're riding a horse in order to joust, so I think Awilish is the perfect selection for this adventure skin. What kind of inspiration did you guys use?
Very
to get
clear
this
ult
armor
indicator, I
right
like
and,
it.
and everything about this aesthetic?
Well, a big thing, I mean, the cat is really where we want to go with this. We're like, we want to make a nice bit of armor for her, but what we really wanted to sing with was like, she has this awesome cat, but she doesn't have a lion. And we were like, this could fit in so well. Let's really just dial that up a lot.
Ooh.
As far as her armor, it's just a really cool kind of high-level fantasy, like, knight armor, you know? But it's like slender because obviously she's a female and stuff like that. So it's like graceful, agile, but it feels really strong and powerful. But the cat, man, that's really what we really want to work with on this one.
It seems like for a lot of the Awilish skins, this is where a lot of the focus goes, is onto Suku and what her look is like.
Yeah, absolutely. Because she's part of the god, right? It's like a two-piece deal here, right? It's not just Awilish. You have to make sure that the cat is just as much detail, right?
Certainly fits alongside her in this one. The audio, it sounds like there's a lot of metal moving. It kind of like fits along with
Can't
the
really hear that
theme
metal moving.
that
It's
she
pretty
has on,
quiet.
that clanking sort of sound. For you, Chris, what were some of the challenges that this skin brought to your team?
So one thing that's completely unique to this skin at the moment, and we're kind of using it as a test case, Awilish can actually use all of her emotes while she's riding the cat on this skin.
But can she ward?
That's the
then-
cool stuff.
She also has an additional VXG that we've added to this. In order to get that to work, which we've never done before, we had to kind of augment the tech and allow her to wave and clap while she's riding. So we want to see how this works. Obviously, we need to test it in PTS to make sure it's fleshed out. But if it is working and the community really wants it, it's something we could retroactively add to the other skins in the
Wow.
future.
So this is something that we could see from, Renegade Awilish to the Midnight, whatever that one's called, the community one. That's really
Absolutely.
cool. Like that's really, really awesome.
This one is so
Imagine,
close to one
like,
of the community
the
ones as
enemy
well.
team is
So
sieging against you, and she does that like little spear spin and like rallies the troops. Like you're never defending that siege. Like no chance. No way that's happening.
No.
Let's take a listen to the voice pack here for Royal Champion Awilish.
Attack left lane! Defend middle lane! Defend right lane! Attack the Titan! Attack middle tower! You joust splendidly. Have you been hit in the head with a lance?
oh god,
a
that
few
taunt
too
doesn't
many
work for that
times?
skin.
I am the winner! Bravo! I've had joust about enough of all of you. I jest.
Are you Ages over there like, God damn it.
I just assume all the time that
He's
AJ is
laughing
shaking
at me.
his
He
head.
is actually laughing at me from freaking over there. I can see you.
That's okay. That's what we're going for, right? It's a joke.
Oh,
that's what
wait,
that's what
the
you
most
want.
important thing,
Yeah.
Charles also talks. Charles is voiced by Chris Sabat. He did me a really nice favor because I asked him like, hey, last minute, Richard really wanted that Charles talk, so could you please be Charles? And he did a really good job with Charles.
So will Charles just like interject whenever
When you
Elotion-
summon him or when you
Wait,
call him,
who's
he'll
Chris
be
Sabat
like,
again?
yes, milady, or you know,
check which voice
I
he did.
will pamper you now, or
Perfect. You won't be
you
able to
might
hear that
hear
right
it with,
now.
if Pawn does some stuff.
Right, you won't be able to do that right here with this current build, but during PTS that should be ready, and of course during the live release. So make sure you go check that out in order to hear Charles and his kind words to
Yes,
his
very
lady
kind.
Awilish. Next up, Shadowclaw Bastet. This. What was that now?
My favorite.
Ah, yes, your favorite. Did you celebrate International Cat Day the
I
other day,
sure
Tina?
did.
Is it every cat's birthday? Is that how that works?
Oh,
Like,
Chris
why
Sabat
do
is
we
the guy
celebrate
from Dragon
birthdays?
Ball, right?
Just to
Yeah, I
love
was
them,
thinking.
Even though they
Yes.
probably won't love you
Isn't he
back,
Vegeta?
but just love them.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Well, that's nice.
Vegeta.
I'm
Suku is
glad that
Vegeta.
Your cat got some
What?
love then on International
Yes.
Cat Day. And certainly
Nice.
here, Bastet got some love with this skin. her first real, I mean, she looks very
God, that's so good.
feline during her base model and every other skin that she has, really.
That skin
But
just got
this one
even
is
better.
the first true
Who cares
cat
about the rest of
sort
the skins?
persona.
Yes.
Just
We-
the roast skin.
We wanted to do something that was like, oh man, like it would be really cool with like some of the, you know, the last skin you saw was very kind of like high fantasy. We're like, let's do something that's like kind of in that vein, like a thief kind of thing for bastet. And Tina was really pushing on the cat face.
sounded like
so we're like, you know what,
Zilla
man?
for some
That'd be
reason.
really cool. We have kind of like a pseudo blend now, but we haven't gone like full cat.
Right.
So yeah, Tina super involved in that process.
I just imagine Tina like,
Excuse me?
like pounding on the table like, she needs a cat face.
She made that little sound, this little squealy sound you heard earlier. That was what we heard. I was like, okay, you got it. We'll
you
make it
can't-
work.
What are you supposed to do against that? There's no counterplay to that, Ben. Trust me, there is not. Some dark effects though. That thief is that kind of the
Yep.
you mentioned that. That seems like the overwhelming theme here.
A
is
very
this-
shadowy
I like
kind
the
of thing.
visuals.
Yeah.
Wait till you see your cats.
Like red.
we saw a little bit of the cats earlier, but I love they are dark. They've got like some wraps on them and that kind of stuff. Like
the materials are very like smoke shadowy kind of feel to them.
yeah,
Shadow cats.
shadow cats, as if cats weren't mean enough already. Now they're
That's
from
a
the
lot
shadows.
of cats.
Good lord.
Oh,
They
it's kinda
sound
gross.
Oh my
vicious,
God.
man. Feed your
Okay.
cats,
Some
man.
dark alley fighting right there.
That is, this will not be happening to you. Trust me, that won't happen.
And
but
she's got a floofy tail.
Floofy tail.
a very
floofy
floofy
tail.
tail.
I wanted to put like a dagger in. Again, the concept was so like, oh man, she's like a thief cat. Like you would think that she'd use that tail to like just extra appendage.
With a little stab.
Yeah, exactly
Yeah.
right. Tina was like, no, floofy tail. I was, and she was like, wouldn't stop till I was like, all right, floofy tail it is. Fine, you're right.
Well, hold on. Why can't a floofy tail hold a dagger?
There's a couple of technical reasons why it couldn't work, but the biggest voice in the room was Tina. So we were like, all right, she knows cats. We'll give her this one.
Look, Ben, you and I both know that she could easily pick up a dagger with that floofy tail and stab someone.
We know the
You
truth.
and I have an understanding here, is what I'm trying to say. Exactly. Well, let's take a listen to the voice back here for Shadow Claw Bastet.
Attack middle lane. Attack left lane. Defend middle lane. Attack middle lane. Attack the Titan. I like you. I do what is needed of me. You must be the bounty hunters. Catch me if you can. More than one way to fleece a fool. I once stole an item and sold it back to the owner. They didn't even know.
That's the Skyrim reference.
What are these bounty hunters that are coming after us? You know,
That was definitely a
Usually
Skyrim
you have like
reference.
backstories for these.
I wish that was the
So,
wares if you have
her-
coins as well.
She has a hairball right now, so let her hairball for real quick.
Okay,
Okay,
yeah.
never mind. Usually she's like, I wrote her kind of as like a meaner Robin Hood. She cares for her tribe, where she's from. So she steals from the really rich people and gives back to her people. But the king sends bounty hunters and stuff to claim her head.
But she handles
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Floofy
she
tail
does.
and all.
Floofy tail and all. Yeah.
Love it. That's Shadow Claw Bastet. Next up, Riptide Poseidon. This is one that I was really excited about. Yeah, he's ripped. All right, I'll say. Jesus. And this is not a Tide ad because he's not wearing anything that could get stained. I mean, I guess his pants could, but he's living in the ocean. Like it's gonna wash off anyways.
There it is.
It's devolving.
No.
You thought we had evolved at all. That implies that we were anywhere but the basement here, Chris. Come
Why?
on now. This Poseidon, most of the Poseidon,
Stained
his normal
pants
skin, I mean, you look
Poseidon.
down at his little icon there, big, fluffy beard, white hair. This is young man Poseidon in his prime, basically.
Yep. With all the Polynesian stuff going on, we wanted to think of like, okay, how can we have a younger Poseidon? And we're like, you know what? This would be really cool if we had like a young Polynesian version of Poseidon, right? So he's like over on the Pacific, just kind of like chilling, like, and wait till you see his creatures that he's brought to come play, man.
Creatures.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's a manta ray.
Nice. I like this
Dude,
guy
that
a
is
lot.
so cool.
Doesn't beat
Riding the
Poseidon,
wave
but still a
there.
really cool skin.
I love it. That looks really, really awesome. Ooh, I can't wait to see what the Kraken is, but we'll get there in a moment. The tattoos seem to have a lot of really intricate detail as well, kind of taking a page out of what we did for Pele.
Oh, yeah.
With those sorts of things. The model just seems to be it just emanates that strength.
Those tattoos, man, they are no joke. It took me I worked on Pele's tattoos with the artist Trevor, and it took me like 5 or 6 hours just for the tattoo.
Really?
On her leg. It was crazy, dude.
Dang.
They're really intricate if you look in there.
That's really awesome.
Oh,
there's the dragon.
hammer shark.
It's a giant
What?
striped
Hammerhead.
shark.
Hammerhead, dude.
That is.
Whoa,
So
I like
both
this.
the manta ray and the hammerhead shark
That's
have like
cool.
the same kind of like tattoo feel as he has.
Okay.
So
yeah,
they're not
they
just
do.
your regular kind. They got like a little bit of flavor to them.
It's not your regular manta ray that you summon on a tidal wave that you shoot
absolutely,
from your
man.
trident like we can all do. This is very specific.
Yeah, it's
to-
really cool looking.
That is really awesome. Chris, this skin, do these sorts of creatures that have this sort of texture and that kind of thing, like it seems like little different animations there. What do these do for your team, and are they challenging in that regard?
Yeah, it basically takes us making a whole new set of deployables for a skin like this because it's different from his basic wave, his basic kraken that normally comes out on his other skins. So obviously modeling, rigging, animation, everyone has to get involved for this big group effort.
Yeah, it looks really, really awesome. I was just realizing Poseidon's come a long way from the old fish feet that he used to have, you know?
And that's another thing
Oh,
too.
yeah.
You know, we're talking about all the cool stuff going around him. Like, I mean, like he just had this big old beard, man. It was really hard to make this work with like taking that away. I think he looks pretty good, but if you saw like the amount of work that goes into removing a beard on this guy, it's not as simple as just going to the barber and handling that.
Right,
You know?
it's not a simple, drag across it and delete. You
Yep,
got to
yep.
fill in what's under there and that kind of stuff. The trident also has that really nice texturing of the water whenever your tide meter gets high.
Oh, yeah.
I'm in love with this skin. I'm going to keep it real with everyone. I cannot wait to play it. Let's take a listen to the voice pack here for Riptide Poseidon.
Attack middle lane. Defend middle lane.
Oh.
Hero of the ocean. Attack the Titan. Did your mom ever tell you it is rude to stare? You are swimming in dangerous waters.
I like this.
You're really something. Awesome. Really. My mom, Queen of the Seven Oceans, would always tell me, if there's a whale, there's a way.
Why would she tell him that? Why? That doesn't make any. That is horrible advice. That doesn't even do anything for you. The voice, like, it's very. This is just man mode, Poseidon.
so
Like
It
this
actually
is
reminds
this
me of
is
another
what this
skin,
is
but I
all
can't tell
about,
which
right,
one.
Tina?
The guy who voices this is the voice from Megatron. So
It sounded
that's
familiar, dude.
why-
That's so
yes,
cool.
it was really funny because
Oh.
when he was voicing it, I was like, okay, you're going a little too Megatron. Like I can hear like Megatron. Like
Listen, you can't get rid of that
no
gravel
I
in the
know,
voice.
right?
Like,
I was like,
smoking-
please,
smoking under the
sexy,
water, you know?
sexy.
I'll tell you what. My voice. I'm very aware that it is not the most sexy
You're
broadcast
gonna start
voice
like making
of all
these
time.
sounds after you come under.
One of my teachers
Tino.
in college told me that the best thing I could do for my voice if I really wanted to get it broadcast ready was to smoke and drink a ton of whiskey. And I was like, that is horrible advice to give to someone.
Next on the Patch Note Show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next up, next skin on the list. It's Abyssal Acolyte Agni. It's me, Riptide Poseidon, giving you the skin preview.
All right, that's all I can do.
It's good, man.
Yeah.
It's gonna hurt my voice.
Roll out.
Look, the opposite of that. This skin, this kind of reminds me of another Poseidon skin that we've done actually. That he's got an abyssal skin to him, so now Agni kind of taking that mantle from him, but only half of him. It looks like the two-headed god kind of works here.
So with this, we have a lot of these tentacle face guys, and it's a thing people like. So we're trying to do something where it's like, okay, let's take that, but try something with a little more narrative involved, right? Like, that's something we're trying to do with some of these guys. As you've seen, Tina like creating like Charles has got a whole like thing behind him. We want narrative to be a thing that we can play into some of these skins, and this was kind of a thing where it's like we got this warlock who's trying to summon this abyssal dude into this like realm, right? And something happened with the spell that like messed it up. So now it like became part of him, but it like fully didn't. It's like merged with him. You know what I mean?
Sure. So he was a one-headed
I like
normal
the tentacles.
acolyte person
Oh, wow,
before
the
this.
effects are
Trying
nice.
to channel the guy into this realm, and all of a sudden like, oh shit, the spell messed up. And
Now
he's,
I've got
like, part
two
of him.
heads.
God.
Ooh, look at those
tentacles.
wings.
The tentacles that lay down with that flame, the path of tentacles, I suppose.
Yeah,
it's
so
called
we
now.
wanted to have that being a lot of the abilities that kind of like really like his hand you can see as like a tentacle kind of thing.
Yeah.
We want to leverage that in a lot of the abilities.
What's the old?
I mean,
Let's drop it down. Is it still
like
fireball?
you said, we have a couple of these sorts of theme of skins. Chalk has one. Poseidon has one.
Yep.
but getting this sort of feel to look like, it does still feel like fire almost with that path. Chris, what did your team go through to try and make it still maintain that fire feel, but actually still look like the same sort of theme?
Yeah, I mean, this was a huge effort on the effects team to get this stuff. They really knocked it out. Just like the other skin we just saw, the Flame Wave on Agni has a new deployable as well. So you see the little tentacles coming through.
Oh yeah, on the Flame Wave.
Yeah.
There are tentacles on each end to kind of roll it forward there. So that that's completely new. No other Agni skin has that.
That's
I really
right.
feel like there needs to be some noise with those tentacles, like or something.
We should just get that sound. Just record that sound right there.
Done.
Because,
Audio
look,
complete.
They're coming towards you. You can't even hear them.
I've
I feel
actually-
like it needs some like.
I don't think
noise.
Hindu Man will attest to this. We had a game where we were casting the Poseidon skin that's kind of like this,
Yeah.
and I was saying that for his tidal wave because it's got like that tentacle that like chomps in front of it.
Wet slap.
You and I are on the same wavelength right now. I think mine was more like chompy and less
The
like
audio design
disgusting.
like, no, don't say that.
noise
We don't
from
want to change
ASMR,
it.
But like, yeah, we could make it work, I suppose.
Even the asteroids that come, or like the fire things that come from the sky, they're more of like a tentacle asteroid kind of thing.
A big
Ugh.
amalgamation.
What?
If you can,
Stuff.
I don't know if you can slow it down.
Let's get into
it
some
might be a little
slow mo
hard.
here. Pon the slow mo master, so I'm not even concerned about all this. That took a lot of effort. Apparently, it is really cool.
You
It
don't
looks
really
like it
get to appreciate
changes
as much. Yeah, it's like moving around and everything.
Whoa,
really
that is
creepy.
so
Yeah.
cool.
It's like a alien hot pocket. Look at it. Oh, it came back up.
It sure is an alien hot pocket. That's
Look
exactly
at it.
what
Look
I
at it.
was
It's
thinking.
square.
Look
at it.
And
then-
that's where the similarities to a hot pocket end. that it has edges. I noticed the one as well. It seems to have that little like pattern to it. Does that persist the entire time that it's down?
Well, you can see right here. There's like definitely like a trail. So the tentacles go, but there's like a trail behind it. The persistent part of that.
Cool. So yeah, here's the noxious fumes that'll detonate. Oh, that's like some veins going on.
Yeah.
In there whenever you end up detonating.
There's a lot of movement too going in the actual like if you can kind of see more of the front view of the character, like there's a lot of like subtle movement going on. It looks really cool.
That's really, really awesome. Once we get a look at the front view here, and as you mentioned, a half man, half not man.
Squid man?
Squid man.
The Mr. Tentacles on one half, I suppose. Let's take a listen to the voice back here for Abyssal Acolyte Agni.
Attack! Attack middle lane! Defend middle lane! Attack the Titan! I have been to the other side. You seem like you would fit well there. I know more now than you'll ever know in 10,000 lifetimes. You did fight. I am all-powerful! Oh, this book is nothing sinister, just 50 Shades of Purple.
There's your weird gargle noise that you were looking for.
Is this? Can you go back to the front of him? Is he like throbbing?
Yeah, that's
from
what
his
tentacles.
chest?
That's what
Yeah,
tentacles do.
Like-
he's pulsating a bit
Where?
Pulsating
in the
Yeah, right-
material.
right there, right underneath the right arm. It's bulging a little bit. Yeah, it's
There's a little water still going on everything too. You see it?
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh.
Okay.
Sliminess.
I definitely feels like you were saying, Ben, it's the acolyte that has been taken over,
Yeah.
but it's not like he's totally lost himself.
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
like he's accepted this
He's
new.
like, oh man, I blew it.
I guess I'm just gonna be all powerful now.
Yeah.
Like I guess that's kind of the thing. All right, this one I've been really excited about. Warp Tech Janus. I'm excited because I mean I've been excited about the last two skins because I play a lot of those gods. I play a lot of Janus, and this also fits in with the theming of a previous Zeus skin that we've done. And I can only imagine what sort of effects we get to do with
still
that
have the
Janus,
ghost
who is a
wall walker
super
Janus.
cool space robot.
Yep.
That's what he looks like to me.
Yeah, we're really digging the robot stuff. We've seen a lot of people enjoying this, so we're trying to expand it to other gods and see what we can do with them. And this one I think came out really well.
Yeah, it looks really, really awesome. And let's take a look right away. I just got to get straight to the portals and see what everything looks like there. I will tell you, I get asked all the time on my stream what my favorite skin in the entire game is. And it's a Janus skin. It's Rift Shaker Janus. The earth, like the sort of like blue greens. I don't know what it is, but that skin really speaks to me. So this one's going to have to blow me out of the water or get me away from that one. And that's a
the
cool
one with
start.
The rocks and stuff, right?
Yeah.
I made that one.
Yo,
Hey,
great,
all right,
great
man.
work,
Thanks,
man.
appreciate
That's
that.
my favorite skin of the whole game.
Oh, you can see the dimensions and stuff.
Yeah, it looks really, really cool. Now, I will say that this is
yeah.
still
So-
being worked on, where some of these effects on the portals I see here have a little bit of a tilt to them that still need to be worked on. So you can expect some changes before you get to play this on the live server. But certainly looking good. Very regal on the entrance.
Whoa.
That is super cool on the unstable vortex. Though that
kinda
really
neat.
gives you a feel. If you
Are his balls really that large? When he usually when you throw them out, they don't look that big.
Well, I was literally just about to say it, Tina, but I
Oh.
guess you kind of got to me. This is actually, it's the same exact hitbox as the regular unstable vortex. If you've been wondering how did that hit me this entire time, it's because that's the actual size of those projectiles.
And why is the
this
target
will
on the
let you
ground
see
so
that a little
different?
bit better. I would not have said it the way you did, Tina. No
She
matter
was
how
staring
much
at you the
you
whole
are
time,
staring
man.
at me right now. They are unstable vortex portals that you
But
were
look how
shooting.
big they
it's
are!
actual. They're like portals that he's shooting. That's the lore behind it. Read a tooltip.
Okay.
Just saying. They also look like balls. Wait, I missed it. I was staring at Tina. Let me. Oh, that's so cool. I love it. And that, of course, will fire portals throughout the entire
Ooh,
map.
that's sick.
Looking really good.
Nah,
That
not a
gold
fan
and
of that
blue
skin.
work
Not
really,
my-
really well
Yeah,
together.
it's gorgeous.
My jam.
Gorgeous.
Like the rift
That's
check
really
much
awesome
better.
stuff. Unfortunately, we will not be able to show you the voice pack quite yet. That is also still a work in progress here for Warp Tech Janus, but of course you can expect that ready for you on the live server. Also, we'll say that his portal is a jump stamp as of what I've got here,
Yes.
so you'll be able to get that around everywhere pretty much.
Well, that's confusing.
Really want to
Just
talk
a
about the
smaller
balls a whole
version.
lot, but not.
Just a smaller version of the portals, or so you don't confuse people.
Sure. Yeah, you don't want to be doing that. I love the audio effect still. That's my favorite part of the Skytech Zeus skin is the audio portions of it.
For Odin
This one
disappeared
continuing
too many portals.
to get it done there. All right. I love this skin. I could watch it for a while, but I know what you were all waiting for, and actually what I'm waiting for too. Sunny Chibi Amaterasu. Oh my god, it's so cute.
It is super cute.
Like, look,
Look at her face.
itty Chibi AMC, more terrifying than cute,
Yeah.
if you ask me. That one freaks me out.
Yeah.
I will not be scared to admit that I have had a couple nightmares about it. This skin, however, is just so cute.
It is.
Her head is massive.
It is.
Why is it so big? She would never be able to float.
Because it's chibi.
She's a
Because
little
normally
chibi.
she's
The
able to float
definition
because
of
that's
chibi,
logical.
Big head.
And this is this skin. You just got a little preview of it there. The face is where this is really going to be awesome. So you're really showing it off for your enemies a lot of the time.
There's a lot of expression here. We had a bunch of different like eye shapes and mouth shapes, and they're all tied in different animations, so that everything just like looks totally perfect for emotions and all that stuff from a distance because they're so large. It's a lot of work went into this one.
Did you
This
see
is,
the head when you
Chris Cooner
move?
worked on this, and he spent tons of time getting this like technically working. Chris over here
She's
worked on
so
that as well.
She's so mad.
She was so angry. That
We,
was so cool.
We have an artist,
slow down.
one of the riggers, Veronica. She's a super big fan of Chibi stuff.
She's so mad. Oh, it's so bad. Oh, I'm sorry, man.
No, you're good.
I totally ran over you there.
No,
but I'm
you're
just
totally fine, man.
super stoked.
We have some fans that are really into Chibi stuff that like pretty much mini art directed a lot of what's going on here. Like drew a lot of the facial expressions and stuff, and we made sure that we were doing it right on this one.
So angry. The animations here seem to match perfectly, and was that a big part of how the skin worked out? And I think either Chris or Ben you guys could really answer this, and how much you wanted to match the animation and how the skin felt to what the face was going on.
That's Chris. That's Chris all day. This guy was working the break of dawn on this stuff.
Yeah, this skin had a lot of work in it. So we used the Ratatosker face as a basis for the tech, but this is the first skin that ever had eyes and mouth independently able to activate. And now that we've got that sorted out, this is going to be the baseline for skins going forward for these Chibi styles.
Wait, we're gonna get more that look this good all the time?
That's up to Ben.
I am saying that we now have a Chibi that works well for people, not just creatures. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah,
Okay.
for
So
sure.
I say expect more of these. If the fans like it, we'll give it to them.
Ben,
Exactly.
All right,
we should have a
guys.
little talk
Wherever
after
wants
this about
that.
I got you, man.
Chibi's
I hope you're
Whatever
happy.
you need. We'll make it happen.
Couple gems coming
Just
your
throw
way if everything goes well. You know?
All right.
That's all I'm trying to say. So we already saw some of the animations for whenever Amaterasu is attacking herself, but there are also some for when she gets attacked. In general, should have some special faces there, as Pon's gonna have to work it out and exactly get that timing right. Now that she's stunned, maybe that he can see it. I don't know. I don't know how any of this tech stuff work. I just want to see Ama be really cute and angry and upset and stunned and sad. That's just kind of what I want. I just want this. I just need these faces around me all the time. Hades, come back.
Hades, please.
We need some Sarah McLachlan music right now to come back for us to get it in the right spot. That Hades.
He's like me when he
sunset.
sees the skin. He's like, nah, I'm
feels
good.
Bad.
I'm leaving, man.
That feels bad.
I don't need to see this.
Look, this is.
Dude, her whole body is the size of Ama's head.
I know, it's like her head is massive. What about? I mean, we obviously talked about the tech and all that kind of stuff that we got to add in to all of this. What about Ama? What was the choice to make all this tech work? What about Amaterasu as a god made her the best fit for this?
We like doing skins for her. Fans seem to like her a lot. So we're like, you
It's a
know
little
what?
late.
We think she would be a perfect example with trying a human in the Chibi route.
Certainly looks to have filled that role. You saw a little bit of that face she gets when she's silenced. Her eyes kind of glaze over and can't really do a whole lot after that. Pon is just killing bots left and right, sending them off into the sunset.
Tell you, they don't like
My
the
heart
skin.
will
They're
go
just like,
on.
nah, dude. I'm
goodbye.
out.
Go, my friend.
I will miss you. Remember me. All right, let's take a listen now to the voice pack here for Sunny Chibi Amaterasu.
Can we be friends? That was fantastic. I'm brighter than you. Attack middle lane. Attack the Titan. We already know who's gonna rise from this battle. I have a feeling we're not gonna be friends. No one puts a Chibi in the corner. Got it, bozo?
We haven't been able to show them off as much as we would like to, but make sure you go with a friend into a jungle practice and check out all the different faces that Ama will make during the taunts, the jokes, her getting stunned or silenced or anything like that. There's plenty of awesome stuff there you can check out. Yeah, that's what you get for running away. Mama Ama there in the base, the bigger version. Again, Sunny Chibi Amaterasu, the namesake of this patch, or the kind of the face of this patch, if you will. Now, normally you'd expect to hear an inappropriate comment from someone on the couch by this point, because Tina's been quiet for a little bit.
just
That's
play
because we
that
actually
song in the
swapped her out.
background?
Not because
What?
of what she was saying, but because we got cool stuff to talk about. AJ has moved back over, and Ben has left his little chair and is now on the couch. Guys, all those skins were great. However, none of those are Odyssey Tier 5 skins.
Very true. We have one skin to rule them all, right?
Yes.
That's okay. The tier 5 skin. And after much deliberation, we do have a winner.
Yes.
Drum roll, please. Wait, do I get to reveal it?
I don't know.
Let's go right ahead, man.
It's Ares, everyone. Ares is
classy.
your Tier 5.
We talked a lot about how we would talk about this, but we didn't decide
expect
who
that. I
would
thought
officially
Ganesh
say
would
the
win.
name. So thank you, Aggro.
I jumped on that grenade.
Edgy
Ares
wins
won.
again.
It was a hard-fought battle. I really like how we did the voting this year. It was really cool watching every god go head-to-head.
Yep.
And we loved the Ganesh idea, the
I was
final
rooting
Ganesh
for it.
idea. We're still going to try to make that skin happen in some way or another. But for this year's Tier 5 Odyssey, we're going to have Godslayer Ares, and we're going to follow the story of Ares, a general, a leader of an unsurmountable army who just wants a little more power and finds this shield relic that seems harmless at first, and
as they always do,
something that he think will empower him.
Just wants to get him to that next level.
So the
Right,
first
something that will
forms.
make him be a just and strong ruler. But little does he know that it will instead fuel his thirst for power and violence, eventually consuming
Thirsty
him to
Ares.
be a
Oh wait, where's this
literal
cut off? Hang on.
phantom and barely, very different from his former self.
It looks awesome. This concept art is great. And, Polar Bear Mike is here for the United Invitational. I can almost hear him screaming yes from his hotel down the road. Because
I'm just picturing the World Championship scream. I can see it happening right
yeah,
on the other
exactly.
side
Yeah,
of this
let's
wall.
go, baby. Like, yeah. All pumped up that it is this Ares selection. And honestly, like you said, either one of those concept arts, I think, I was very excited about. And hearing that the Ganesh skin is still hopefully getting done in some capacity, though not to that same sort of, just incredible level that we do the tier 5s every year. We didn't do the story behind it. I mean, there was a little bit for years past in the tier 5s. Are we really trying to push the narrative behind this skin a little bit more this time around?
It's more of an inspiration for all of our skins. Not necessarily something we put in the game as text or anything, but when we're coming up with these skin ideas, we like to think of the backstory and help us make decisions about the art.
It adds credibility and like you said, anything in that story that we can add, that like his shield, right? You saw the shield was getting like kind of creepy and stuff. Like, that's part of where the shield is actually about to like take him over, right? So that all that narrative stuff helps create more visuals and where we can like put like focal points and like areas of interest with skins. So it's not something that's necessary, but the minute you add that, it like really like levels up the skin, I think.
Perfect. Well, again, congratulations to all you Ares mains out there. You will have the tier 5 from this year. Odyssey.
That's why
on the Joust map, right?
I watched those votes streaming, man. I was surprised, but Ares, there's the people have spoken.
They've been looking for their guardian for quite some time.
Russia made some contacts and then just made it happen.
Anyways, we kicked Tina off the couch. Like I thought I was in the clear here, Ben. Goodness, come on, man.
I mean,
look, one last thing. Last year we had a lot of little teasers and previews on what was going on with the Uller skin. Can we expect a little bit more of that this year as well? Like some work in progress or anything like that?
Sure, yeah. I mean, as we show with Hera, the early concept art, and we're going to be doing early blog posts for her, talking about her kit a little early. So keep in mind, we really like this hype building we've got and the community feedback we're hearing. So we did a big work in progress video with Bologna, and we showed the full concepts for all the forms of that months ago.
Yep.
So that was only kind of a taste of the end form of Ares. So when we get the finalized, completed full four forms, I'm sure we'll start showing that off, and we
just want to give a taste as to where we're going. But there's the whole other side. It's less so much of a journey of like, here's your level 1 guy who evolves into level 4. It's more of like, here's your heroic character that transitions into more of like an evil kind of character. That's kind of so the first one's going to be pretty damn epic to begin with.
Yeah. That's one thing I'm really excited about too.
Yeah, not starting from like the little acolyte that Anubis is or anything like that.
And that's part of the narrative, right? Like this time, like before that was part of the narrative, he was an acolyte that became right. A lot that stuff really helps with these T5s.
For sure. Very excited to see what we've got for that Ares skin. Guys, thank you so much for joining me here. And thanks to everyone at home who was here to watch that 5.15 update show. PTS will be up as soon as we're able to put it up. So make sure you stay tuned to all of our channels, Twitter in particular, at Smite Game on Twitter, so you can find out updates on the PTS and all that kind of good stuff. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you tune in tomorrow for Skillshot versus Pros. My alter ego will be competing and dominating in the Battleground of the Gods. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right. That's the patch notes. Interesting changes. It's been like quite a while since the changes went through. So much skin talk here, but overall, I think not a mostly like overwhelming patch. Nothing that is like, well, this change is absolutely crazy, this item change or whatever. Was it the Silver Branch Pro change that is really interesting? I will look into that, but I would be surprised if it's like effective for most. We're gonna see if it does something for Ram maybe, but such a strange passive. Other than that, I will see you later for the patch notes review. Thank you very much for watching. If you're new to the channel, feel free to sub button and with well, it really helps me out. Yeah, see you in a bit. DukeSloth, out.